This pretty much happens in every damn game that I play that has healers in it. It's always so difficult to get people to play the support, to play the healing classes, and it seems like Overwatch is no different. How's it going, everybody? Force here, and today I want to talk about healers in Overwatch, and I'm actually here in this video to make an argument for you to try out the healing classes. Like, there's a reason people don't want to play support classes in games, in MMOs, in MOBAs, in class-based shooters like Overwatch. It's because people love to get on the scoreboard. They like to rack up their kills and collect their medals. They want to get plays of the game, and people feel like they can do that with Pharah and Soldier and Genji and Tracer and Widowmaker and Hanzo, but they typically don't feel like they can do that with the support characters, with Mercy or Lucio or Zenyatta. But let me tell you, I've gotten quite a few play of the games, and I tend to rack up quite a few medals, and a lot of those medals, with 2 out of these 3, are actually kills. Yes, believe it or not, both Lucio and Zenyatta can do a good job of scoring quite a significant amount of kills. So what I'd like to do here is kind of go through the 3 healing classes in this game and talk about where they shine, where they excel, and maybe why you should consider playing them sometimes. Before we jump into these 3, I do want to say I really feel like Blizzard has done a decent job of having alternative healers, and what I mean by that is it's more than just the basic point at an ally and raise his health up. Like, there's a lot of extra things that you're doing with all 3 of them, even with our first one, which I guess we'll just start with right now, and that's Mercy. Mercy is the most traditional. She is the truest of the healers. Her primary beam is a very, very strong single target heal. Her alternative beam is a nice damage boost, and she's got a pistol which actually, believe it or not, can do some significant damage. I've scored quite a few kills as Mercy when people weren't expecting me to burst them down, but she can lay down the smack. The thing with Mercy is, even as the most traditional healer, you spend a lot of your time raising up the health bars. There's a lot of positioning that goes into play with Mercy, and what I found the most when I've played her is I am spending most of the time bouncing in between targets, and the reason I'm doing this isn't just to be healing a new target and then go to the next target to heal, but a majority of the reason is to avoid enemy fire. You're always on the move, balancing the soar mechanic, the glide, as well as just going from ally to ally, using those 2 things in conjunction, knowing when you should glide up in the air and when you shouldn't. There's this constant thought process of, what does the enemy team have? Where am I positioned in relation to them? What are the odds of them seeing me and hitting me? You know, and you're always just paying attention to that map awareness, that situational awareness, the constant thought and presence of where everyone is and how you can create a buffer and how you can make yourself hard to hit. And then all of this on top of healing up your team, buffing up any good damage dealers, like Soldier's a really good target, or Hanzo's a really good target. Any of those characters to give that little bit of extra burst to really take down enemies really quickly. I found Mercy to be a lot more fun than I expected her to be. Now, it can be a nightmare playing her if there's like a really good Tracer on the enemy team and your allies aren't helping to protect you. But even with a really good Tracer, especially on the maps that have verticality and if your team is spread out, I've had no problem avoiding even really good Tracers because I can stay up on second levels, glide up there. If an ally needs healing down low, I'll drop down to him, and then mid-drop I'll glide back up after I apply the healing beam to him. There's a lot of finesse, I would say, to playing as Mercy, a lot more so than I thought there would be. As far as her ultimate, I really feel like Mercy's is one of the strongest in the game. The team res and the capability of completely swinging a fight back in your favor. You have your entire team get wiped out, and then it's just like, oh, all of them are back up, and I have on several occasions rezzed all of the team. It allowed us to turn around and win the game just like that. So if you want to play a true healer, Mercy is a really good choice, but just realize there's a lot more that goes into her gameplay than just holding down left mouse button. Let's move on now to Lucio. Lucio's a healer that I initially didn't like. I think I didn't like his kit, or at least I thought I didn't. When the beta first came out, I played him a couple times. It's like, I don't like him. If I'm gonna play healer, I'll just play Mercy. But since release, I've spent more and more time with Lucio, and I've really come around to him. Now, he is admittedly, in my eyes, certainly a much weaker healer, if you will, just because his heals are the AoE heals, and if you don't have your boost up available, it feels really disappointing to have like a really low health tank standing right next to you and be like, I'm sorry, this is as fast as I can heal you. It's gonna take a while for you to get back to full health. Those situations feel really frustrating, especially when you're the only healer on the team. But if you have your boost up, if it's off cooldown, you can top people off pretty quickly. The really cool thing about Lucio, similar to Mercy, but in a different manner, is that there's a lot of finesse to his movement, and he is a lot about positioning. But he is more so about trying to utilize the environment as opposed to trying to utilize the position of your teammates like you do with Mercy. Being able to ride up walls and hop over walls, standing in the middle of your team to constantly be applying that little bit of AoE heal. He's got a fairly decent amount of damage on his basic attack, and his alternate attack makes for some hilarious situations. Knocking people off of ledges is of course exactly what I'm talking about. It's something that you'll see a lot of Lucio play of the games involve. Now when it comes to Lucio's ultimate compared to Mercy's, his ultimate is certainly still good, but a lot of times it's more of a preemptive measure, like you're moving into a push and you break it down and then you go in, as opposed to a measure of responding to something that your enemy team has done. But Lucio's really good because he's a nice balance of, yes, I've got those good AoE heals, but I can also do some pretty significant damage, and I can rack up a lot of kills, and there's a lot of utility that comes with his alternate attack as well. And then finally we have got Zenyatta. Now Zenyatta is interesting. He's gone through a lot of different changes. He's a little bit stronger now than he was a couple of weeks ago because of the Widowmaker nerf that sort of helped him, helped his survivability a little bit in the meta. But he's still probably one of the most underrepresented healers. The fact that his orbs, the healing orb and the Discord orb, drop after line of sight for 3 seconds doesn't help his case. But the thing to keep in mind with Zenyatta is he's basically like a glass cannon murder machine. Like, the hitboxes on his projectile orbs seem insanely huge. I hit a majority of the time and I wasn't even expecting to. I get headshots out of nowhere. Very similar to Hanzo's arrows, except you can kind of rapid fire these in a little bit quicker succession with Zenyatta. And then of course you have the option of charging up a bunch of orbs and shooting them all at once. That coupled with the orb of Discord, debuffing your enemies and making them take more damage. Zenyatta's capable, he's probably the most like assassin-y of all these supports, even compared to Lucio, who can get a lot of kills. Zenyatta's insane. Like, I really can't express it enough. If the enemy team isn't targeting you down, you might as well be an offensive hero. Like, you might as well be someone who's just there racking up kills and tossing out heals every now and then. He can be very impressive. He really can. Now, the problem is he's so incredibly squishy, and if any of the harassers, like a Genji or a Tracer, and if they're good and they get on your case, it'll be pretty difficult. Of course, you can try to respond to kill them in turn. A good Tracer or Genji is literally designed to be able to kill you quickly, so it's gonna be difficult, but not impossible either. Biggest threat is probably still Widowmaker. Even though she can't one-shot body shot you, she's still gonna keep you pinned down. Unfortunately though, I really feel like one of his biggest weaknesses is his ultimate. It just feels so lackluster when compared to Mercy's team res and Lucio's preemptive push abilities. You could argue that Zenyatta is similar to Lucio, but the thing with Lucio is that he applies his buff to everybody and then they can spread out and do whatever. With Zenyatta, everyone needs to stay grouped up right on top of you, and you're not doing anything while your ultimate is up, whereas Lucio can apply his ult and then still attack and push people back and AoE heal and everything. So that, unfortunately, he does feel like he has the most lackluster ultimate out of the three. But Zenyatta, if you are someone who likes to get a lot of kills, but you still want to help out your team with some healing, you should give Zenyatta a shot. You really should. So those are the 3 healers that are in Overwatch right now. I do want to quickly say, by the way, I'm really excited at the idea of what a lot of the talk around Sombra has been, one of the supposed upcoming healers to the game. She's considered a support sniper. I'm really interested to see what they could potentially do with that. I honestly feel if they do like a sniper sniper style character that can also heal their team, we would see a lot more people play a healing role and trying her out. Kind of similar to what Zenyatta can be. Listen, bottom line here is that Overwatch healers are actually pretty damn fun, and I think more people should try them out, because I really get the sense of a lot of the games that I play and taking a look at people's profiles when they're shouting for healers, people just aren't even trying them. I think people just aren't giving them a shot, which is why I wanted to make this video, to make an argument for the support classes, because Blizzard's done a good job of making these characters that can still deal a lot of damage, help the team tremendously, and it's a lot more than just about filling health bars. So if you haven't already, please play a healer. All right, guys, that is gonna do it for me here today. Please let me know what you think about this discussion, about the healing classes in Overwatch, about why people aren't playing a lot of healers, or maybe just why you personally haven't given them a shot, and will you now? Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you all have a fantastic afternoon, and until next time, I'll see you later.